The sequel to Breath of the Wild finally drops its official name. Tears of the Kingdom will be released on May 12th of 2023. So let's take a quick look at what we saw and put some more insight into things you might have missed during the trailer. If you enjoy Breath of the Wild, make sure to subscribe to GameSpot to keep up with the latest. We open up with multiple scenes with multiple stone carvings. I won't pretend to know everything about Zelda lore and history, but what I do know is that surface level connections can be made immediately to this creature and its Zonai origins. We then see an incoming army with the malice of the new Longhorn Bokoblins and Moblins defeating either Hylians or some other tribe we don't know of yet. They obviously look human, but this could be anything from Hylians to Sheikah to some Zonai tribe we've never seen yet. We will likely know about this in the future. Another thing I'll point out is that every trailer so far has had some Ghibli reference thrown in again. This time from Nausicaa, or Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind, where tapestries of an age-long past were shown with somber piano music. We have shown this proof from Castle in the Sky with the floating land masses with roots growing through them, to how the malice interacted with Link's arm to Princess Mononoke, and more. So it's cool to see that they're keeping up with this motif. This next scene with the entity in the center gives the most information so far. It's fairly easy to find out that this arm here is highly likely to be the arm that's in the very first trailer, holding down what we still believe to be Ganon. There's ancient text written down as well, the same we see unfurling from the arm in the very first trailer. Unfortunately, unlike what we know about Sheikah and Hylian, which we have online translators for, we can't decipher this text of the new ancient language as of right now, so it's impossible to know what it says. When we finally do get letter translations, we will finally see what all these letters mean. This owl-like creature is obviously a powerful deity that could be as major as the goddess Hylia or some other important figure entirely. This part gets a little tougher to figure out. We now see two figures and two scenes. These are both very likely Zelda or Descendant, with the ears and the dress. We then see Zelda cupping her hand with the same owl-like creature below two tears. We know this because the same shot pans out later in the trailer. This is obviously all within deep Breath of the Wild lore that just hasn't been revealed yet, so the name of the game here is to take things at face value and keep them in your mind until we finally see the truth unfold. Now we get to the juicy part. We see Link open up a pair of massive doors out into the New Sky area. These doors themselves have intricate designs of two Zonai creatures, and with what looks like a Sheikah eye symbol on the bottom of the door as well, which still supports the previous idea of the Zonai's link to Sheikah history. This imagery of the two dragons here also holds similarities to the hand cupping shown in the wall designs before. We then finally get a close-up of Link, still donning his amazing Hylian Tunic Champion's Tunic hybrid outfit, with the huge stone building behind him. What's cool about this shot specifically though is that this is the first time that we see these close up in the sky. This finally gives clarity to the situation, as we previously thought that long-haired Link was purely tied to the sky only, and that there would have to be time travel between land and sky. But because he is here in this state and with more shots later in the trailer, it's confirmed that this is one cohesive world, with no state change or loading between land and sky. You can also see something located on his hip, with what looks like some sort of ammo belt, but it's unknown exactly what this was for. Looking closely though, you can see that this is a Zonai designed eye at the top of the device, with containers of light green energy we associate with the Zonai. Thinking about it more though, if these containers are placed below the eye like this, these are indeed an idea of a teardrop. This lines up with the fact that this was simply omitted in previous trailers, and Nintendo clearly stated that when they reveal the name, it will spoil some aspects of the game, so the choice to reveal it now must link to the name. What doesn't add up though is there are 8 container slots, not lining up with the 7 tiers surrounding the important deity shown before, so it is completely unclear on the purpose of this strange device. He then dives off the edge into open sky. This is actually the exact same animation in Breath of the Wild for diving into water from high up, but then transitions into the skydiving animation that they've been holding back for possibly a decade at this point. Remember, this skydiving animation was initially an idea in the original Breath of the Wild, an imported idea from Skyward Sword, but of course it's coming in full swing in the sequel. Then we see one of the more interesting parts. Link climbs onto a stone slab and soars upwards with the boulder. First, this location is at Korda Lake in the Faron region, in this 4-pillared Zonai contraption in the water. Well, my favorite piece of information about this trailer is that it sets up the possibility for rebuilding or fixing the sky using these pieces from below for puzzling and exploration. Think about it, it's clear that from a previous trailer that the skill with the yellow outline is a time reversal mechanic, so this must mean that this piece has fallen previously from the sky. This also may subtly refer to the title of the entire game. Tears of the Kingdom would make a heck of a lot of sense if the kingdom was ancient lands above, and the tears or tears both work in this situation were pieces that fell down, likely due to a catastrophic event, which was probably not filled with happy times. We also see a brand new enemy or wildlife, a strange bat-like creature, much larger than a standard Keese, but we still have no idea what it is. This next shot supports, but doesn't entirely 100% confirm what I suspected last year. I previously said that these islands in the sky have walls that are severely unfriendly for climbing, similar to shrine walls you may not be able to grip onto. We see long-haired Link here climbing only the root on the wall, which may support this theory. We again have to see more footage to confirm this fact. We finally see the widest shot of the new Hyrule we've seen so far. Because of the harsh lighting of the sunset, details are hard to point out, but this shot makes it very clear the scale of how high these different islands actually are. Another thing is we've been here before. In the previous trailer we were shown tons of islands above the Thundra Plateau, where we're dropping down right now, but none of these large islands from before seem to show up in the right places, so this likely shows that these islands are things that appear or disappear depending on some context we're still missing. Link then transfers from the skydiving position into the normal falling position. It's unclear at this point if this is a scripted animation path to perfectly fall onto this glider, or if this is how the game works in general with all skydiving, detecting how close you are to the ground before automatically tilting Link to a normal fall. This also may prevent comedic splatting, which would be a bummer because I missed this hilarious interaction from a Skyward Sword. But we still haven't seen him land on solid ground yet, so we'll see in the future. We also see several huge Zonai designs on the ground, both at North Hyrule Plain and at the Illumini Plateau. In this case specifically, this sort of makes sense since the base word is illuminate, which means to light up. What it does specifically though, we have yet to know. There's also this spiral structure here just north of Tabantha Bridge Stable. There's no way to tell what this is from far away, but it does have a fairly similar spiral design to the unraveling hand holding down Ganon from the very first trailer. And of course this stone glider is the very last thing we see. If you don't believe me about the Ghibli references yet, well, here's another one. Nausicaa's glider. We don't know if it's fully controllable, but judging by how it's already moving when Link gets there, it's hard to say. We finally then see the game name with the corrupted Master Sword we saw before, and what appears to be two dragons or Zonai creatures in a circle. What's interesting about this layout is that Nintendo doesn't implement stuff just to look cool. These things have a hidden meaning. A snake eating itself or two snakes eating each other in Greek mythology is represented as Ouroboros, the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. While it's hard to decipher what exactly this means right now, I feel like at a minimum this should be kept in the back of your mind as we get more information about the story of The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. What are you most excited about with Tears of the Kingdom? Let us know in the comments below. And to make sure to keep up with everything Zelda, stay tuned with us here on GameSpot.